Hey everybody, check it out. What's up? It's Heracles, Porsche's professional intro. Yay!
Pokey Dravon has come out with an accusation against me, calling me a sensationalist over the content I provided in my latest Dust 514 video. Firstly, apologies for taking so long with the response. I have had some real life issues pulling me away from video production, but this was definitely worth responding to. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole history between me and Pokey for today's video at least. I'm just going to be sticking to a relatively adult style debate format. But yeah, Pokey's calling me a sensationalist as a result of what was made in my last Dust 514 video. It was called Gunjack 2 and what it means for Project Nova. In it, I relayed the official statement made by CCP about Gunjack 2, which was developed by CCP Shanghai, as you all know, the game studio that made Dust 514. The game footage you're watching right now, and the game studio that continues to develop all EVE Online related FPS, etc. Feel free to go check out that last video too, so you guys know exactly what I said in it. But yeah, back to what I want to say. Yeah, I'm trying to craft a response here against the accusations that I am a sensationalist. I really think I'm not a sensationalist. At least not in that last video. You know, I have no problem being one for the purposes of parody or humor, etc. But I wasn't trying to be that in that video. I was actually trying to talk, you know, reasonably about my expectations for Nova. Now, I could have easily just ignored these accusations from Pokey, but I decided to take them on for a few reasons. First is Pokey really wants my attention. He posted in the it's gotta be the same account. He posted it on the YouTube video and in the general forums where I posted it. So he clearly either wants my attention or at least the attention of my audience. Whatever, I'm happy to let him do it. Feel free to read his entire argument against me. I will be posting it in the comments below, including the typo. I'm sorry. Yeah, that I have got it all laid out for you in the video description, so that will be there. The second reason I'm responding to this accusation that I'm a sensationalist is there actually are a lot of sensationalists on YouTube. You know, people on YouTube are willing to make any kind of video that is likely to get them attention. They don't always care about details and accuracy. I really don't see myself that way. You know, yeah, there are people on YouTube, they'll take a tiny scrap of information and then they'll start presenting information as fact that they can't possibly have, and it'll later turn out not to be true, and they might present it in the video, or they might present, you know, the thumbnail, etc., as if it was official content, and that will turn out to be really wildly, you know, not useful information. I don't want to be seen as one of those people. So again, that has made this accusation worth responding to. So yeah, that's my second reason. I really do want to distinguish myself from YouTubers who do go into that practice, because I really don't see myself as being one of those people, and that's important. Because I might launch my own criticisms against those kind of YouTubers later. It's entirely possible. Thirdly, I don't know if you know this, but when it comes to YouTube, it actually is pretty rare to get something even remotely like an intellectual debate opportunity on YouTube. It's actually not that common for people to write paragraphs to me, let alone multiple paragraphs to me. Yeah, that's pretty uncommon. So yeah, anytime I actually get a chance at intellectual debate in the public realm is an opportunity. I think I ought to seize it. But yeah, let's get into my response to this accusation. Yeah, I really don't think of myself as a sensationalist, especially regarding the content of that last video. Sensationalism is defined as the use of exciting or shocking stories or language at the expense of accuracy in order to provoke public interest or excitement. I started that last video reading an official statement by CCP. Then I presented not just one, but a range of possibilities of how it was going to affect development of another product that a big portion of my subscribers undoubtedly care about. I did make radical assumptions. I admitted it openly during the video. It's not the same thing as sensationalist speculation. I never presented anything in that video in a way that what I stereotypically think of as sensationalist. I didn't promise you hookers and blow in your quarters if you play as Galente, or sex slaves as you played as Amar, or a junkyard if you played as Mimitar, or, you know, whatever those Caldari get, those businessy Caldari. You know, I haven't told you anything about what I think the content of this next, what's going to be in this game. I won't do that because I don't have enough information to go on yet. I only wanted to talk about the timeline of Project Nova's development, and I did use assumptions. I said openly they were assumptions, but I don't have it. I think it's all right for me to talk about the assumptions because I think they're well reasoned, and I think talking about the developmental timeline of Nova with, you know, the people who are concerned with that, I think is worth it. One of my assumptions is, you know, Shanghai is a relatively small studio compared to the world's largest gaming studios. At least, I think it's a relatively safe assumption. You know, I have made that based on, developer spotlights, knowing the number of people who don't work there anymore, etc. I can't tell you I have a head count of CCP's Shanghai staff because I don't. I can't get one from CCP because they are all under NDAs. But I think it's a reasonable assumption. I don't think CCP Shanghai is one of the world's biggest game studios. I don't think they're going to be getting help from a lot of other CCP studios either. Obviously, CCP has their main studio in Iceland, which works on EVE Online. They're probably very busy right now working on the free-to-play update for EVE Online that'll be launching in November. There is a brand new studio they're launching in London. I don't know a whole lot about what they're up to, but I think CCP Shanghai is probably not the gaming world's largest studio, and I think that producing any kind of game, even a relatively simple game, can take a lot of effort, a lot of manpower, and I think it's safe to assume that a lot of their manpower has been going into Gunjack 2. I think it's safe to say we haven't got a lot of news on Nova because they don't have a lot of new things to tell us, so they just won't tell us anything at all. I think the fact that I'm not. By the way, this video is not intended to poop on CCP. Obviously I don't agree with everything the studio does, but that's not the point of this video. But yeah, I think producing any kind of game, especially a game in VR, I think that's got to take a lot of resources. And I think that assumption that a game like Gunjack 2 will take a lot of resources is backed up in a statement that CC Logic Loop made when he said, he basically went on the forums and said, these games do take a lot of resources to make. So, in response to what Pokey said, now I do hate to draw a third party into the argument, because I don't want to create a misconception here. I don't think CCP Logic Loop came in order to take sides in the argument between me and Pokey. I think I think he is literally just doing the best he can to update us, and I really do appreciate it. But yeah, I just want to say I don't think, so yeah, I'm talking about CCP Logic Clip's information, but I'm stating I don't think he put it out there to take sides with me specifically. But I think it's fair for me to draw on the information that he provides, since, Pokey made a series of statements based on the same information. I think it's only fair I'd be allowed to draw on the same resource, and I'm really grateful for CCP Logic Loop. I don't know how hard it is for him to get information. I know that CCP Shanghai Studios, they're under very strict, and even their volunteer workers are all under very strict NDAs all the time. So he probably had to poke someone to say, is it okay for me to say I'm working on maps for Project Nova? And he probably had to poke someone even to be able to do that. So I do appreciate him at least giving us the little tiny amount of information he can get to us and letting us know about the game's continued development. I'd love to know more. I'd love to know if, what percentage of map making his workload is, if there's other map makers, etc. But I'm grateful for anything he can share with us, because I said the NDAs are brutal, so I appreciate him kind of struggling against that on behalf of people who are interested in this project. But yeah, anyway, that's all about CCP Logic Loop. But now I will say one good thing about Pokey's argument. I think he did make a reasonable assumption of his own when he stated that Project Nova will probably show in FanFest of 2017. There will probably be a lot more pressure than usual on CCP to show the product's continued development. So yeah, that's a reasonable assumption by Pokey. So I will give him that, but I don't think outside of FanFest we'll see too much of Project Nova until 2018. Remember, the product has not even been greenlit yet, so there's that. But yeah, let me just get into why I made that last video. I didn't do it to be a sensationalist. I did it because my subscribers and the Dust community, it would be really great for us to have some kind of timeline. And that's it. That's the driving reason behind the creation of the last video. I think anyone who played Dust has an emotional investment in the production of Project Nova. Our game that we put our time into, potentially some of our money into as well, was shut down. And we were promised to, get back some of, ambiguously get back our investment in the launch of the new game in some way, shape, or form. That's not really clear to us yet. But yeah, they create that kind of emotional investment in the next game. It's only natural that we're going to be eager for information, and we don't have a lot yet. And by the way, guys, I think it's very safe to assume that Nova will not be out until at least the year of 2018. I think it's worth talking to people about that. By the way, guys, and this video is not about my ego either. I would love to be proven wrong. I would love for CCP to go, "Surprise, Heracles, Project Nova," in your face, and I'll be like, "Ah, snap, you got me, CCP. I didn't think that would be out for years." But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't want them to rush it either. I just wish that CCP would give us updates. That's all I'm pushing for, really. So anyway, that's everything. Short, I don't think I'm a sensationalist. I hope CCP will update us with a lot of information. And Pokey Dravon, I welcome your response to this video. And anyone else's feedback as well. I always welcome it. Until next time, everybody, I shall see you Starside.